I have considered, and maybe if you're watching this video, you can relate. I have considered dropping everything, leaving society, and becoming a monk. Leaving all the pain and the suffering that comes with everyday life, that comes with being a part of the society. You can't tell me that you didn't have one thought at some point to do that. And I remember I said in the previous video, and I still believe in it, that those monks, they would probably do society a better service if they were still a part of it, so they could teach people all the lessons that they learned from being a monk. But what are they really trying to do? Monks or yogis, what are they really trying to do? I think they're trying to do a few things. One, they're trying to let go of suffering, and they're probably trying to reach enlightenment. I've talked about enlightenment and suffering in multiple videos. And I think you can do that no matter how hard your life is, no matter what environment you're in. Just watch my previous videos. Another thing that they're trying to do is to, well, maybe they're trying to like jump out of their body, out of body experience, go to different dimensions, whatever. Maybe they're trying to levitate things, maybe or whatever. Maybe they're trying to do telekinesis. Yeah, they're probably doing that too. But what they're really trying to do is gain full control over their mind, full control over their emotions, full control over their entire body. They're probably trying to gain a state of like super consciousness or hyper consciousness, however you want to describe it. They're probably reaching states of pure bliss, of pure ecstasy. And they've been meditating. They've been practicing being present for how many years? They probably can just reach a state of hyper presence. Imagine if you or me, or the common folk, right, could reach that state of mind. And from my humble opinion, my humble experience, I've been meditating now, what is it? I'm looking at the calendar, 2025. I've been meditating for like 8 years probably. Not fully consistent, sometimes every day, sometimes not, but decently consistent enough that I've created pretty drastic changes in my brainwave state. My brain used to be super chaotic, super loud. I used to be controlled by anxiety and fear and stress. But through years of meditation, I've taken control over my mind. And I can produce emotions at will. I can change my emotional state at will. And the first thing you have to do to create a mind, like a monk or a yogi, is that you have to realize no matter what is going on outside of you, you control everything that is going inside of you. This is what you have control of right here. You. We are so externally focused as a society. And by design, on purpose or not, a lot of things that exist today, I feel like, are meant to draw our attention outside of ourselves. And what do they say? Wherever your attention or your focus flows, that's where energy goes, right? So if you're constantly putting your energy or your focus outside of yourself, what is that doing? And that's why we as a population succumb to things that are thrown at us. That's why we are so easily manipulated, because we are not internally focused. I can be in the most stressful environment. Like I was last week, I was in the craziest high school volleyball match I've probably ever been to. I was coaching in it. The gym was packed to the brim. I left the gym and my ears were just ringing. I've never really experienced that. But now I take pride in being calm in the most stressful situations. I take pride in regaining control over myself, regaining control over my nervous system. And I would notice myself taking on the stress of the crowd, of the game, taking on the high energy, the anxiety of the game, right? But the little switch that changed everything for me is that I noticed I was getting carried away. I noticed it, I controlled my breathing. And once you gain control over your physiology, your body, that's the trigger that brings you back into control mode. So I was constantly pulling myself out of the chaos, controlling my breathing, breathing nice and deep. And the other thing that I'm gonna talk about in every video, I don't care. When I just notice my body getting tense and stiff, like my jaw, like my arms, my legs, my ankles, like every part of my body getting stiff in those high stress situations, I just loosen it. I release all the tension. And for some reason, that removes the importance that I'm placing on the outside world. That removes any of the stress or anxiety that I'm experiencing because of what's going on outside of me. And it brings me back into autonomy mode. That brings me back into being a sovereign human again. And so I can create a state of relaxation because I've been practicing it so much. It just takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of awareness of what's going on. But I can also create emotional states like motivation on command. I can create emotional states like happiness on command. I can even create anger on command, sadness on command, right? I can create states of ecstasy and limitlessness within myself. Before I was doing it unconsciously, and I was a victim to whatever my mind was telling me, whatever it was worrying about. But now I can control my mind and can basically control the hormones that I produce. If you can control what you're focusing on, if I start focusing on all the bad things in my life, I'm gonna start getting worried. But if I focus on all the good things in life, all the potential that I have, all the things that I'm grateful for, I can shift my emotional state on command. See, there's a whole world going on inside of us that we can alter, but we haven't really tapped into that power yet. And we're just a victim of whatever we're told, whatever we're fed. We're a victim of, marketing schemes, whatever. We're a victim of money-hungry, money-grabbing companies that don't really have our best interest at heart. And so everything that I just said there doesn't require actually sitting down in silence and meditating. But meditating is simply controlling your focus. There's different kinds of meditation, many different kinds of meditation, but to me, meditation is controlling your focus. And how I meditate is I bring my focus back to the full present moment. And I enter a state where it's impossible for me to be stressed, to be anxious, to be sad. That headspace that I exist in is a state of limitlessness, is a state of pure potential. You don't have to meditate for that long. You can do like 5 minutes a day, but just the pure act of trying to meditate is going to make you so much more aware of how you operate and how you can control yourself to start really upgrading and basically getting out of your own way and showing up how you want to show up. When I meditate and I leave the chaotic state that I'm in and I enter a very calm and present state, you could measure the change. Like, what is it called? An EEG, electro something reader that measures your brain activity or your brain waves, right? You are producing measurable, noticeable changes. Over time, you can make drastic shifts to your brain. I believe over time you can really tap into the full potential of the supercomputer that we have. But until we do that, we're gonna be a victim to it, and we're gonna be a victim to the outside. So I don't know, that was me just kind of spitballing and thinking and throwing thoughts out there. Let me know what you think about that. That is, in my opinion, how you would create a mind of a yogi, of a monk. So let me know what you think. Peace.